Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in the Geneva Press Club in Domaine de Pente in Geneva. We are very glad to host this press conference about the situation in Bangladesh, especially the decision about the International Crimes Tribunal against the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and the findings of the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights concerning the political arrest in Bangladesh during July and August 2024. To talk about it, I will give the floor to the International Crimes Research Foundation, and this press conference will be moderated by Shaymal KHAN, human rights activist, et will introduce our guests. Et je dis encore un mot en français pour les personnes qui viennent ici de Genève et du canton de Vaud. Vous êtes bienvenus ici au Domaine de Pente, au Club suisse de la presse, et je vais désormais céder la parole à nos invités. Je vous souhaite une belle conférence de presse et merci pour votre présence ici au Domaine de Pente. I give you the floor.
Thank you. In the beginning, we have one more panelist, Mr. Nazrul Islam, freedom fighter. I'd like to request him to take his place in the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Crime Research Foundation UK and myself, I would like to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to you all present here. We have mainly two keynote speakers, Dr. Mahmud Hasan MP, Foreign Minister and Joint Secretary of Bangladesh Awami League Central Committee, and Nijhoom will be the keynote speaker. And coordinator, Mr. Nazrul Islam ZAMADER. And we have another guest from European Awami League, Secretary General, Mr. Mujibur Rahman, and our freedom fighter, General Secretary of Muktizudda Sangshad, European, Mr. Nazrul Islam. In the beginning, we like to show some video footage, and then our speaker will follow their discussion. I'd like to invite Mr. Nijhoom, Barrister Majumde, to.
You want me to talk?
No, first I like to show the video footage,
yes,
and then we will start our discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
How Dr. Yunus assured the world and the nation of reform scheme where inclusivity and equality, let alone fundamental human rights, would be upheld. All these tall claims were made during a speech by Yunus on August 8th upon his return to Bangladesh before taking oath as interim head without winning any election. And from UN to other international rights bodies also backed Yunus' regime, and the quest for so-called reform process unanimously. International human rights activists, organizations, politicians, lawyers, journalists raised their concern from the very beginning, but Yunus's interim government didn't pay attention to this concern.
Given the current instability in Bangladesh and since the departure of the former Prime Minister in August, this is a moment of deep concern. Many governments are condemning the violence and calling for peace and law and order to be restored.
But 7 months under the rain, a reality check reveals just the opposite scenario, with law and order went totally collapsed, while the judiciary and law enforcement have been totally weaponized. Mob rule has become the rule, with lynching, communal violence, alongside other acts of terror like arson, looting, rape, curb on freedom of movement for women and girls roiled the nation. Let's take a look at how rights abuses exacerbated in the country, extrajudicial killing and custodial death by law enforcement. Since August 5th, at the behest of Bangladesh Army, joint forces have been deployed. Troops are also empowered with magistracy power and following our monthly status of killing under law enforcement. Atrocities against minorities.
We have a responsibility because we enable Bangladesh to be free and independent. Now, whatever the change of government has been in Bangladesh, it cannot be acceptable that religious minorities are persecuted in this way.
Attacks on followers of Sufis and shrines. Islamists inciting violence against minorities, in stark contrast to government's narrative on ruling out communal line over attacks against minorities. BBC journalist laid bare how Islamists, released after August 5th, are inciting ongoing spate of violence, targeting all minority communities including Hindus. 2 episodes in BBC radio service brings to light the stark involvement of Islamists in fomenting attacks against minorities. Yunus's sweeping indemnity for mass killing of cops, citizens, and violent attacks on police stations by loyalists. In contrast to the pledge to ensure justice, an order issued on October 14th, 2024 by Yunus reads, "Students and citizens who put forth all efforts to make this uprising successful will not face prosecution, arrest, or harassment for their acts between July 15th and August 8th. Emboldened at the indemnity, advocates of Yunus regime, radical Islamists and coordinators from student against discrimination platforms publicly glorified the killing spree of cops and planned destruction of key public offices as part of a violent campaign to bring down Awami League.
যদি মেট্রো রেলে আগুন না দেওয়া হতো, যদি পুলিশদেরকে না মারা হতো, তাহলে বিপ্লবটা তো সহজেই অর্জিত হতো না। কিংবা
পুলিশের ফায়ারিং এ কম লাগছে, সিভিলিয়ান প্রেসে হাতে 7.62 আপনারা নিয়ে দেখছেন।
বৈষম্য বিরোধী আন্দোলনে সিরাজগঞ্জের এনায়েতপুরে যদি 15 জন পুলিশ নিহত না হতো, বাংলাদেশের পুলিশের মেরুদণ্ড ভাঙতো না।
Despite such public admission of killing, the decree justifying no legal action against violence perpetrated by supporters of Yunus has been likened by rights activists as an act of widespread indemnity granted for perpetrators who killed police, minorities, citizens affiliated with Awami League, aimed to bring Yunus in power and solidify his grip on power. No justice for killing of at least 318 people under Yunus regime. Ayin O Shalish Kendro, a leading human rights organization, reported. Massacre of Awami League activists. At least 171 citizens were reportedly killed in form of lynching, arson, and other forms of violence. According to accounts of family members, tens of thousands of party activists and leaders in almost each unit of 4,573 union, in all the 64 districts across the country, subjected to physical attacks, and their houses and business were looted and vandalized. Hundreds of activists are feared, killed as their whereabouts are unknown for months. Due to impunity for killing of Awami League leaders and activists, there has been no let-up in the extrajudicial killing spree even after 6 months. Rather, the cycle of vengeance and erosion of rights only compounded. Violence against women. Safety of female population, from clothing to workplace and movement, under siege and culture of impunity reigns supreme. Death of freedom of press. The claim of Dr. Yunus to uphold freedom of press emerged out as biggest hoax in 6 months, as not only journalists are suppressed with meticulous design of false lawsuits, arbitrary arrests, unlawful incarceration, but also a record number of headquarters of media outlets came under attacks. Since August 5th, offices of at least 19 media outlets are torched and vandalized, highest since the country's history, according to DW Bangla Service. Mass arrests and arbitrary detention, brutal crackdown. At least 13,540 people were subjected to mass arrests and arbitrary detention from August 2024 till January 2025. In 20 days of February, at least 12,500 were detained in political cases. No justice in court. Victims of mass arrests denied of legal rights. Reports reveal critics of Yunus regime, who have been subjected to mass arrests, were attacked inside court premises on a regular basis. Denial of academic rights of students. Over the space of last 6 months, tens of thousands of students who are opposed to Yunus and his allies were attacked inside campuses, even barred from attending examinations, denied of academic rights, and their certificates have been cancelled by university authorities. Only because of political belief or alignment with Awami League's student wing, scores of students were murdered, abducted from their home, and even thrown behind the bars. Now the questions over Yunus gaining undue privileges to expand business empire.
Hello? Hello? Thank you for watching the video. As you know, title of today's conference, Standing for Justice, Exposing the Flow of the Bangladesh International Crimes Tribunal and OHCHR Blazed Report on Bangladesh, organized by International Crime Research Foundation, UK. Now, I humbly request to our keynote speaker, Mr. Nijhoom Majumde, Barrister, Solicitor, and Head of Legal Team, International Crime Research Foundation. Please provide the information and statement you have, please. Mr. Nijhoom Majumde.
Thank you. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here today. Today is our press conference specifically focusing on particular two issues. One is the verdict delivered on 17th of November by the so-called International Crimes Tribunal, Bangladesh. And the second issue is about the United Nations Human Rights Office report, which was published on 12th of February this year. So particularly, we are here to talk about these two issues. Number one, the verdict against the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina delivered on 17th of November, legalities and all the misdeed and all the illegal activities has done by this tribunal, number one. And secondly, we will talk about that what United Nations Human Rights Office did while they conduct their report published on 12th February this year. First of all, before giving my elaborate speech, the main speech, I would like to invite or request Mr. Hasan Mahmud MP, as a Foreign Minister of Bangladesh. He will give his speech on these two particular issues that was going on, verdict and rebuttal issues. Then I will give a detailed explanation of the rebuttal and the verdict.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank International Crime Research Foundation to organize this event to unveil the rebuttal to the UN Human Rights Commission report that was published in February this year, and also to protest the verdict, the so-called verdict against our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, our beloved leader. As a member of Awami League and also Joint General Secretary of Awami League, on that capacity, I have been invited here. So, first of all, as this event has been organized on two issues, the first issue is the so-called verdict given by the International Criminal Court in Bangladesh against Sheikh Hasina. I'm not a lawyer. Lawyer is Barrister Nijhoom. He will elaborate the issue and also the rebuttal issue. But as a citizen of Bangladesh, as a member of Bangladesh Awami League, and as a common person of Bangladesh, what I see, this was simply a mockery trial. Sheikh Hasina and Home Minister Asaduজ্জামান Kamal was not allowed to contest the case through their lawyer. Many lawyers on behalf of Sheikh Hasina wanted to contest the case before the court, but their petitions were denied. And all the charges brought against Sheikh Hasina was fake and fabricated. I was very much in the country in July and August. As member of the cabinet of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, as also Joint General Secretary of our party, what I have seen during the atrocities, especially in July and August last year, Sheikh Hasina was never in favor of applying force. She was all the time saying to her cabinet members, administration, law enforcement agencies, don't apply force against the students who are demanding quota reform. But when police was attacked, when the property of the state was being burned, then police had to take some action for self-defense. You have seen what we have not seen in the world, in the current world, that a person is beaten to death, and after the death, the dead body was hanged from the branch of a tree or from the foot of a bridge. We have not seen anywhere in the world, not even in Africa, where conflict is going on for decades. Not even in Afghanistan, we have not seen this horrific scene, what we have seen in Bangladesh in last year, July and August. Human is beaten to death, and then his body is hanged from the foot of a bridge or electric pole or from a branch of a tree. In human society, in a civilized country or in a civilized society, when an animal is beaten to death, people protest. In Bangladesh, human was beaten to death. Not single event, many events. Police personnel were beaten to death. Even a police person was going to buy medicine for his sick wife, and he was taken by, not by the students, I would not say they are a student. They are simply fanatic forces who infiltrated into the movement of students. And they kidnapped him, beat him to death, and then hanged his body. The same happened for our party workers and supporters. Dozens of our party workers and supporters are beaten to death, and then their body were hanged from the electric pole or from the foot of a bridge. This horrific scene is in the social media, is depicted here also. You will find not only the printed version, we're going to present also the online version as well. Yeah. So this was the scenario. So when this was going on in Bangladesh, this terrorist attack on the people, on the common people, on law enforcement agencies, they are burning state properties and etc. They burned state television media, BTV, and attacked on many other important installations of the country. Then police had to take some action to protect the property of the people and for their self-protection. Sheikh Hasina, our beloved leader, the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, was always against applying any force. But the charges brought before the court all are fake charges. And you have seen in the social media, especially who are from Bangladesh, you have seen in the social media, a defense lawyer was assigned to defend Sheikh Hasina before the court. And fortunately, a conversation, a televised conversation was leaked. When he was talking to the bench, to the judges, judge was asking him, you defend Sheikh Hasina before the media, and you always say that she must be acquitted from the charges. But when you speak before the court, you say something different. Then he was saying that if I don't say this like this before the media, people will misunderstand you and me. That's why I need to say that. So you understand this was a drama, was staged. A defense lawyer was assigned from a particular political party. The judges were from particular political party. They are not only supporter of the particular political party, they are activists of particular political party. And the prosecution team, the chief prosecutor, and the whole prosecution team is from a particular political party. So a drama of trial was staged just to punish Sheikh Hasina. And if I remember, and you have seen also in the media, you know that how the judges were, appointed. judges are appointed by the government. And all these 3 judges were appointed by the government, and their job is not permanent. They are temporary judges, and they are appointed by the government. And who is the government? Government is represented by the law advisor or law minister. And during the trial, during the process of the trial, while the trial was going on, then the law advisor once visited the court, and he also met with Human Rights Commission representation that went to Bangladesh, met with him, and he said openly, when the trial was going on, that there should be capital punishment for Sheikh Hasina. So what does it mean? Government is dictating. The law advisor or the law minister is saying openly before the media, during the process of the trial, what punishment should be given to Sheikh Hasina. It means government dictated the court, and the verdict was decided before the start of the trial. So this was simply a mockery trial. We completely reject this trial, reject this verdict. And you see, Sheikh Hasina is the daughter of the father of the nation, Bangladesh Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Bangladesh is the person who liberated our country. Sheikh Hasina is the chairman of the political party that led the independence war of Bangladesh, Awami League. And Sheikh Hasina is the person who served the country more than 20 years as prime minister. Sheikh Hasina is the person who served the country as leader of the opposition for more than 10 years. And you have given death sentence to a lady who is close to 80. And this verdict, through the mockery trial, through the drama of trial, is even criticized by different human rights organizations all over the world. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and many other organizations have criticized. Even Human Rights Commission was compelled, I would not say they said it voluntarily, they were compelled because of the international criticism that death sentence is not supported. So how this happened? Who made the pathway for this kind of mockery trial and this kind of verdict? I would say the biased, one-sided report of Human Rights Commission that made the pathway for this kind of trial and thereby death sentence to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. What happened in Bangladesh in July and August? Maybe many of you have gone through the report of Human Rights Commission. Human Rights Commission has said in their report that 1,400 people were killed. In the Human Rights Commission report, it was mentioned, it has been mentioned. But the government has published a gazette notification of 800 deaths. Government is saying 800 deaths, and Human Rights Commission in their report said 1,400 deaths. And after the publish of government's gazette notification, 400 deaths came back alive. And we have been seeing for last couple of months and weeks that many, they say July martyr. They say July martyr. Many July martyrs are coming back. In the gazette notification, this is not my word. This has been invented, this has been investigated by different media in Bangladesh. And different media, including Pratham Alo, Daily Star, and other media, has investigated into the matter, and they have found that many people who are injured because of the road accident, because of the fire, and because of the family collision, family feud, and because of the collision between two brothers, they are included in the list of the July martyrs. And many are coming back. Still they are coming back. So this is simply bogus. Both are bogus. The report of Human Rights Commission of 1400 deaths, that is bogus. And that has been established that the report is bogus by the government Gazette notification when they have mentioned the 800 deaths. And again, when the murders are coming back alive and reports are being published in different media in Bangladesh, it has been proven these are all bogus. And what else happened? In this report, this is unthinkable to me. I have been coming to the UN Human Rights Commission since 2002. I used to participate in the Human Rights Commission meeting since 2002 every year when we were in the opposition. This is unthinkable to me. Such a biased partisan report is published by the UN Human Rights Commission. What has happened in Bangladesh? In July and August, more than 3,000 police personnel have been killed. Nothing is mentioned in the report. And thousands of our party workers and supporters have been killed. Nothing is mentioned in the report. The hanging body of the dead people who were beaten to death, these are not mentioned clearly in the report. And thousands of houses of our party workers and supporters have been attacked, demolished, arson attack, burned. These are not published in the report. I was very enthusiastic when I got a phone call from the team that went from the UN Human Rights Commission to Bangladesh. I got a phone call that they wanted to talk to me as a victim. I'm a victim of these atrocities that took place in Bangladesh on 5th August and before and afterward. My house in my constituency was burned and looted. My paternal house in Chittagong city was looted. My house in Dhaka, the government house where I used to live as a minister, was looted. My brother's property and everything was looted. And I had to flee for life. I was in hideout, and I had to flee for life. So I'm a victim, genuine victim. The same Nijhoom, Majumde, and others here. Directly or indirectly, everyone. So I was very enthusiastic. I was very hopeful that UN Human Rights Commission will investigate into the matter, and they will publish a true report of the atrocities that had taken place in Bangladesh in last year, July and August. And I spoke to the team for more than close to 1 hour. No, more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours. They took my interview. But I'm surprised. Nothing from my interview has been included in the report of the UN Human Rights Commission. This single evidence is the proof this is simply a biased report. We completely reject this report. I think I personally accuse, on record, I want to say in Geneva, where the UN Human Rights Commission is situated, is stationed, I want to say on record in front of the media that Volker Turk, Human Rights Commission Chairman, Human Rights Commissioner, has violated his oath by publishing this report, biased report. It seems to me this report has been prepared by the people who are working with Dr. Mahmud Yunus, and just a stamp was given by the Human Rights Commission. We completely reject this report. Nothing is mentioned. Okay, you see, over the last 1 year and 4 months' time, 500,000 Awami League workers and supporters have been arrested. And the number of accused are 5 to 6 million. Against me, more than 200 cases. Almost all are murder cases. And when this murder took place, mostly I was in abroad. I went to Bangladesh on 3rd in the evening. But the murder took place on 1st, on July 30, on July 28, 27. In all those cases, I am accused. So I don't want to elaborate because Barrister Nijhoom Majumde is going to elaborate the rebuttal. So I thank International Crime Research Foundation to prepare a complete rebuttal to the so-called UN Human Rights Commission report. This is a 500-page report. Everything is mentioned there. Barrister Nijhoom Majumde is going to elaborate the report. So what I want to say finally, UN Human Rights Commission has committed an offense by publishing a biased, one-sided report. And for this, as chairman or commissioner of the UN Human Rights Commission, Mr. Balkar Turk is personally responsible. I also accuse the team members because they took our interviews, but they have not included this. And a one-sided picture has been depicted in the report. What is unacceptable, we completely reject. And the verdict against Sheikh Hasina is through a mockery trial, we completely reject. And Sheikh Hasina has not made any offense. Sheikh Hasina, if she would want to hold the power, she could. If you see, I do not mention the name of any country. If you see the events of last 2 decades that has taken place around the world in different countries, from Asia to Africa, from Asia to South America, in many countries, the governments who wanted to hold the power, how many people were killed by them? But Sheikh Hasina did not. So we completely reject this verdict given by the ICT court. Thank you. Joy Bangla. Joy Bangla.
Hello. 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 Now, online floor for Mr. Paulo Casaca, former MEP and Executive Director in South Asian Democratic Forum from Brussels. Mr. Paulo Casaca, now floor is yours.
Actually, Portugal, in the south of Portugal, out of Brussels, and I'm sorry I could not make myself available to go to Geneva this afternoon to, together with you, start by saying that the International Crimes Research Foundation made an outstanding job on exposing a vile piece of propaganda that is actually a piece, part of a conspiracy to put things upside down, to reverse the truth, and this has been absolutely exposed and shown to be invalid and having nothing of truth in it. I think that we need to convey in a very plain way what's going on to a European audience. And what is going on is exactly the same as if 50 years after Nuremberg court had been established, the culprits of the Nazi crimes that were judged in Nuremberg would take hold of the institution and would reverse it, would just try those who were against Nazis, those who fought against freedom, and would put themselves in the place of victims, because this was exactly what happened. There was a court that was established soon after the genocide of 71 to judge its culprits. That's a specific court to a very specific circumstance. After the coup of August last year, this court was misappropriated, as former Foreign Affairs Minister Mahmud Hasan explained, was expropriated by putting people nominated by the government in the key functions, but was also expropriated in its function, because its function was not to judge whatever might have happened in 2024. Its function was to judge the genocide of 71. So the whole of the setup is completely preposterous. And what has been done is more than a mockery of justice, is the reversal of justice, is when you have the assassins, the ones who have been waging a war against the Bangladesh nation, taking hold of the institutions and persecuting, trying to assassinate, and actually assassinating a lot of those who cannot escape from the country, those who have fought for the country, for freedom, and for human rights. That's exactly what has been happening. And what we can say now that is very, very positive is that although there are people that completely disrespected the role they have been assigned to, like Mr. Volker Turk, as was said previously, I would subscribe to it without any hesitation, and I know him very well, and I have been with him several times. What he did is absolutely unacceptable, and he should resign after something like he did. But one of the bodies, a working group on arbitrary detentions that actually depends on the Commission, accepted to look at the single case, a very important case. It's the case of Mr. Shahryar Kabir, because Shahryar Kabir is a symbol. He is also an old man in our day. He has a life full of writings, of actions for freedom, against genocide, and against all values of humanity. And he was also accused of murder. And this working group investigated the issue deeply. And actually, the Bangladesh present authorities, they had the guts to claim that some of the television interventions of Mr. Shahryar Kabir, interventions that were, as always, on its thinking of freedom, of respect for human life, and of humanity, in these interventions, they were criminal and they murdered people somehow. And that was the reason why he had been arrested. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable that an authority gives an explanation like that. And this working group made a very important conclusion that was already decided on August, and it was released just some days ago. Publicly, it is now in the public domain. And this decision says that the detention of Mr. Shaymal Kabir is absolutely arbitrary, asks his immediate release, demands compensation from the present authorities of Bangladesh to Mr. Shaymal Kabir, and asked for a full inquiry of how such a thing was possible. And the issue is that, as we unfortunately know, Mr. Shaymal Kabir is perhaps the most well-known of tens, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people that have been persecuted in Bangladesh for their political positions, for their humanitarian beliefs, persecuted to the point of death, being murdered outside and inside prisons, put in prison, and with, as Mr. Mahmud Hasan already explained, with complete forged accusations of murder, which is completely unacceptable from any point of view. The Yunus regime is a form of dictatorship that is perhaps a new and more dangerous than any other we have seen before, because it is exactly the materialization of what George Orwell predicted in his romance 1984. Everything is put upside down. Those who are innocent are persecuted as murderers. Murderers are promoted as very good human beings. And we, the international community, has a lot of responsibility on that. From this fake nomination to the Nobel Peace Prize of Mr. Yunus that took place already nearly 20 years ago, and his bank, to the present day, we have a lot of responsibility. But this must end. And I think that this working group of the United Nations, composed of independent people, showed the way. Now, it is for all of us to explain that Shaymal Kabir is only the most important example of hundreds of thousands of other people, and that what is going on in Bangladesh is absolutely unacceptable, and the international community must demand the end of this sort of procedures. This is what I think is essential right now. So I would like to end by thanking very much his invitation and telling you that your words are working. Sometimes not at the pace we would like to, but they are working, and we have to continue, we have to proceed with the same determination that we showed up to now, to free Bangladesh of the present dictatorship of Yunus and its Islamist supporters. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Paulo Casaca. Now again, Mr. Nijhoom Majumde, floor is yours.
Thank you again. Thank you very much for to Mr. Paulo Casaca and Mr. Hasan Mahmud MP for their valuable speech. I think both of them have covered all the issues concerned, the reason we are here for. I will briefly explain that why we are here and what needs to be, what the world's needs to be acknowledged about. First of all, I can show you the big work we have done so far from the International Crimes Tribunal. I think everybody is aware that on 12th of February this year, United Nations Human Rights Office, they have released a report on Bangladesh, especially what had occurred last year in July and August. You know what happened, so I'm not going to reiterate the whole issues. So Mr. Volker Turk, the president, the chairman probably, I don't know what they call president or chairman, but he's the head of, chairman, okay. High Commissioner of that office, I'm sorry. Well, he led the team, United Nations Human Rights Office team, and released the report. That report consists of 114 pages. Actually, the report was for 85 pages, and the rest were actually reference. So, International Crimes Research Foundation carefully reviewed the whole report and took around 4 or 5 months to release their own report, and found that report is very much misinformed, full of lies and distorted documents. So let me take this opportunity to show you that rebuttal. This is the rebuttal. As you can show this very gory picture, excuse me for that. You can see that police officer were lying with the wounded, and they're dead actually. So we have made that report of this report consists of 176 pages, and the rest of the documents has been attached as evidence that what actually happened in Bangladesh during July and August. And the second issue, we are here for the International Crimes Tribunal, but let me explain that what we have done with the rebuttal, and why we are saying that Volker Turk's office misinformed people, full of lies. I will explain, I will try to explain in short actually. First of all, this material fact of that whole report has been distorted. Let me give you an example, the death of Mr. Abu Said. In their report, they showed they explained Abu Said's death, and all the blame, they put all the blame on Bangladesh Awami League and the police. But we showed in our report, in our rebuttal, that the post-mortem report we have received from the medical, the real one, didn't say that Abu Said were murdered or killed by the police bullet or whatever they claimed. He was murdered with extensive blood hemorrhage, and he was taken to the hospital almost after 8 hours of the incident. And he himself, the first person who attacked police, and police actually resisted. He attacked police 3 times in a row, and then police resisted, and then police used rubber bullet, not bullet at all. I mean, the bullet you normally, the report said 7.62 bullet. We probably have all heard about it during July and August. So this can be one example that how Human Rights Office distorted and misrepresented a factual scenario. Second issues is deliberate omissions of essential evidence, lack of verification on fact-checking. Mr. Hasan Mahmud already explained to you that they're the main, that time Mr. Hasan Mahmud was the foreign minister. Probably they have taken interview from you, right? Yes. They did. And I've been to India, and I asked many ministers, MPs, that whether United Nations asked them any question or took their interview. And also the police officer, sorry, is it? Yeah. So some of the police officers said that yes, United Nations office called them and took their statement. And some MPs and ministers, especially I can remember our education minister, Mr. Mohibul Hasan Chaudhary, he said yes, United Nations took his statement, and even our home minister, Mr. Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, Human Rights Office took their interview, but unfortunately, it didn't reflect on that report. So I don't know why Volker Turk, was so partisan. I mean, he acted like he's one of the Amir of Jamaat Islami, the way he put his report, way he's narrated the report. I can mention here that on 4th of March this year, Mr. Volker Turk went on a BBC radio. It's probably called BBC Radio Mix or something. So he specifically mentioned there, I will read it out for you so you will understand. Yeah. So on 4th of March 2025, Mr. Volker Turk, he's the main person of Human Rights Office, very responsible person. Just see what he said. I can give you example where it is taken seriously. I will give you the example of Bangladesh last year. During July, August, you know, there was a massive demonstration of students. They had enough of the previous government under Sheikh Hasina. Look, a chief of a human rights office is talking like this way. There was a massive repression happening in with the big hope for them. Actually, our voice was my voice. I mean, it is his statement. It is transcripted, so there might be some grammatical mistake. Was my voice what we were able to do, and we put. Sorry, let me. I can't read it. Yeah. Put the spotlight on them, on the situation, and we actually gave the warning. Listen carefully. He said, we actually gave the warning to the army that if they can involve, it means they may not be able to be a troop contributing country anymore. That means Mr. Volker Turk threatened Wakaruzzaman during July that if he helped Bangladesh government, then the peace mission, the Bangladesh army will be removed from the peace mission. Now my question is Volker Turk the chief mission? Answer is no. Is anyway Volker Turk is involved with that, because a troop mission is managed by different office, not Mr. Volker Turk. But Volker Turk clearly took a side and violated his oath, his oath of United Nations. He's just an employee of the United Nations, but this is how he violated his duties and breached all the rules and diplomatic norms. So this is how he interfered in our in Bangladesh, political system or political arena. But we complained against him from the International Crimes Research Foundation. No action has been taken so far. So far we know. So this is the reason we took a time, and more than 70 or 80 members for like 4 and 6 months. They worked together and released this report. If you have not received this report yet, I can send you, because our PDF is available, or you can go to ICRF website, you will find it, or their Facebook page, you will find it easily. And second issue is International Crimes Tribunal. You know the verdict given on 17th of November this year. And you already know that this Yunus regime does not have any legality whatsoever. They are not, there is no government called interim government. We have already narrated, said this 100 times. I'm quite sure you are also tired of it, hearing the same thing again and again. But let me reiterate, because as we said many times, that the government claimed that they were formed under the Article 106 of the Bangladesh Constitution. But Bangladesh, the Constitution, also has, specifically told some specific duties as to how appellate division can work. So to maintain 106, a government, the president, specifically president, has to ask for a reference specifically to the appellate division, and then the appellate division will call for a full court hearing. Nothing had been done so far, we know, because Mr. Mohsin Rashid, one of the eminent lawyer from the Supreme Court, he called for the documents that when that hearing had conducted, when that had done. But so far we know that appellate division never released any documents. In fact, in their verdict, so-called verdict from the appellate division, said the Prime Minister resigned, but we haven't seen any resignation letter whatsoever. So when a government is illegal, in our view, they cannot conduct a trial. For the sake of logic, even if we talk about, regardless the illegality of the government, they have breached many rules and regulations what International Crimes Tribunal Act itself says. I can give you some example. The trial began on 26th June 2025. The opening statement was presented on 3rd of August. I don't know whether you know or not, during the opening statement, the prosecutor, the chief prosecutor, said, this is a tribunal of revenge. Not only revenge, but also to establish justice. So when a prosecutor said this is a trial of revenge, you can imagine that what kind of trial it is. And the witness examined began on 4th of August. And defense counsel, this is a very strange defense counsel, who never ever had any opportunity to talk to the so-called accused, our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. He got 38 days, and within less than 100 days, the verdict delivered. So you already know what had happened in this tribunal. The lawyer, the government lawyer, Mr. Hasan Mahmud MP, he already explained that what he was doing in the court, and the leak video says that he also worked for the prosecution team, and the drama was very successfully staged in the so-called International Crimes Tribunal. So we call this tribunal as a tribunal of a vengeance. It's a political vendetta. So overall, we do not think this is a tribunal at all. No legal norms were followed. Even the International Crimes Tribunal Act were not followed at all. So this was our reason to come in front of you to tell about this tribunal and our rebuttal that what had happened in these two occasions. So if you have any question, particularly on these two issues, you can ask. We will try to answer your question. So floor is yours if you have any question. Sure.
Thank you very much. This is Hasan. So,
yeah, we can hear it. Yeah, it's fine.
So, what we hear from you and Mr. Hasan Mahmud about the rebuttal, what misconducted did by the Volker Turk. So, did you meet any? Did you got any opportunity to meet with the Volker Turk office? Or did you conduct with the Volker Turk and about this report, about your rebuttal? Did you send this report? And what the reaction?
Okay, no, the answer is no, we didn't meet Mr. Volker Turk directly, but we sent email to the Volker Turk PS, his all office staff, even, not even Volker Turk, we sent this report to 644 congressmen and senator, all UK MPs, most of the eminent human rights workers all over the world, MEPs, yes. I myself sent more than 256 email, and our staff, I mean international crimes from the organization, people sent. So far, we have sent more than 1,000 email to different level of people. The problem with the appointment, we have asked for the appointment, we requested appointment from the Volker Turk office, and our team is working on it. We haven't received any confirmation from his office. I think, I'm hopeful that we will get it in future. And just to let you know one thing, as I said, a few months ago when we heard his talk shows in BBC radio, we expressively written a letter from International Crimes Research Foundation and to their ethical team as well, and raised complaint against Volker Turk.
One more additional question. As you mentioned, you and Mr. Hasan Mahmud said that Volker Turk doesn't have any mandate according to the UN Charter. So how he can violate this charter? Do you have any plan to accountable him any international, UN or any other, or Hague?
Look, unveiling the rebuttal to the biased report of UN Human Rights Commission, this is our first step. The second step would be, we shall bring this matter to the relevant offices of UN and other international organizations, how the mandate has been violated by Mr. Volker Turk and how he has overreacted on the issue of Bangladesh. And I do agree with Paulo Casaca, former European Parliament member. He said that he should resign. I do agree with him. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, but I can add something with this, just to let all of you know that we have, as you said, we have sent this rebuttal to all concerned office, and this is a very serious concern. Someone sitting in the very important position in the United Nations, especially Human Rights Office, using his power illegally. He is acting, seems like he is acting on behalf of Mr. Yunus and his illegal office. So this is very unfortunate that United Nations Human Rights Office is acting like this way. So we have raised our concern, we have sent letters, and we are very much determined and that we will go to the as much as we can do, we will go to the utmost, and we will try our best to draw attention of the concerned people, to let them know and let the world know that what United Nations office is doing. Probably you know that when Trump came to his office, probably last year, the first step he did against this OHCHR office, he stopped the allowances, what normally USA gave to them every year. So obviously it's not only me, many people, many important country even pissed off with this office. So we will raise this concern continuously, and hopefully we will see his end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burman.
I have one question. Just now, our Prime Minister Hasan told us he accused about 200 murder cases. But
against me, fake cases. Fake cases against me.
But my question is, human rights or our parties or journalists like Nijhoom, why cannot you prove that one day 200 murder, how is possible? One day 200 murder, I can murder one people one day, one spot, not 200 spot, 200 murder, how is possible? Just, I think we have to, journalists or human rights activists, to prove them or to tell them it's not possible. 200 murder cases in one day, how is possible?
Look, I just want to give you one example. I don't remember the date. I was in abroad because I was foreign minister, so I had to go to different countries, especially on the issue that were going on in Bangladesh at the time. So I returned to Bangladesh. Before my return, a person was killed in front of New Market in Dhaka. On the following day, funeral prayer was organized. He was our worker, Jubilee worker. And funeral prayer, namaz-e-janaza, was organized in front of our office. His coffin was, his dead body was brought before our office was kept. I participated in that funeral prayer. And after 5th August, I have been found that I've been accused for murdering him. When he was murdered, I was in abroad. And I participated in the funeral prayer of that person. He was our worker. Not only me, Salman F. Rahman, and our law minister, Anisul Haq, and others are been accused for that murder. So this is not on one day, on different days actually. So when I was in abroad, I am accused that, and the incident took place when I was in abroad. So definitely these are all fake cases. And the case against Sheikh Hasan is also fake. And the other cases of the charges have been brought before against many of our ministers, MPs, and party workers and leaders. All are fake. And international community has raised their voice against all these fake cases. So already voice has been raised. We have to louder our voice, and to make louder our voice, we have gathered here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Now,
yes, there is another question from the back end.
Okay, please.
Yes. Thank you. Just to let you know that the short rebuttal were published by the Bangladesh Awami League on probably 15th or 16th February, right after the report were published. So it was not even short. It was like 14, 15 pages of report were published by Bangladesh Awami League website, and it was circulated widely. But we have published this report not from Bangladesh Awami League, from International Crimes Research Foundation, because the allegation was grave, and there were lots of factual issues that cannot be investigated within like 1 month or 2 months. Because, for example, I can give you an example. There were some murder incidents that we had to send our own people to Bangladesh in disguise, and then we had to investigate. We had to take more than 100 interviews, and because the people, most of the people were in hiding. We had to go to USA for interview. We had to go to different places in India, England, and different places we had to go. We had to send our volunteer, and sometimes people were so much reluctant to give interview because they were in hiding place. They thought if they give interview, they will be in trouble. So we had to face lots of difficulties, even delivering these, publishing this report. That's why it took quite a long time, I would say. I would agree with you. But I would always say better late than never. But the report published on February, and we published this on August. Basically, we are circulating this since August. But I think you will appreciate from one point that we haven't let CHR to continue their lies. At least someone stood up and gave that rebuttal. I hope you will appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, today's coordinator, Mr. ZAMADER Nazrul Islam, human rights activist. I request you to give a closing statement. Before that, I would like to thank everyone present here and all the hardworking people at the Geneva Press Club. Now, please, Mr. ZAMADER Nazrul, closing statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome to you all today's press conference organized by the International Crime Research Foundation. We have gathered here today to speak out against the serious injustice and to uphold truth, fairness, and the rule of law, not only in Bangladesh, across the world. Today, we have already heard thoughtful, carefully prepared, and informative remarks from our honorable keynote speakers and panelists, which will be shared with the world through the distinguished journalists who are present here. I extend my sincere thanks and heartfelt gratitude to each of you for being here and for contributing to the success of this program. Thank you very much, and thank you the organizers, and thank you the Geneva Press Clubs. Thank you. All the audience to success these programs and join us. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I'd like to thank everyone in the panel, Mr. Nazrul Islam, freedom fighter and General Secretary of All European Muktizudda Sangshad, Mr. ZAMADER Nazrul Islam, human rights activist, Mr. Mujibur Rahman, General Secretary of All European Awami League, our keynote speaker, Mr. Hasan Mahmud, MP, Foreign Minister and Joint Secretary of Central Committee, Bangladesh Awami League, and also Mr. Nijhoom Barrister, keynote speaker. I thank all of you behalf of organizer of Bangladesh and Swiss diasporas. Thank you, everyone.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you.